Four men have been found guilty of the murder of a man from Gateshead who died after ammonia was sprayed in his face. Andrew Foster was attacked at his home in August 2023, causing him to suffer breathing difficulties, a heart attack and brain damage. Today, a jury returned guilty verdicts in the trial of Youssef Wynne, Josh Hawthorn, Kenneth Fawcett and John Wandless at Newcastle Crown Court. The court was previously told that the attack on Mr. Foster was one of 4 corrosive substance attacks to take place in the space of 11 days connected with drug dealing and drug dealing gangs across South Tyneside, which led to one woman actually losing an eye. It was the prosecution's case that the group was involved in a scheme to tax other drug dealers, a term which it's claimed refers to stealing from competitors and trying to scare them off so they don't come on their patch ever again. During the trial, the court heard there was a hierarchy within the 4 men found guilty. The court heard that Wynne was a drug dealer with the 3 other men working under him at the time. Wynne was said to have orchestrated all of the attacks, and Hawthorn, who supplied the drugs for him, helped organise the 4th and fatal attack on Mr. Foster. The prosecution said neither Wynne nor Hawthorn were present at any of the attacks. He was described in court as Wynne's enforcer, that's Fawcett, and he was physically present at the attacks and recruited Wandless, who was there at the last 3 attacks the court heard. On the 3rd day of the trial, the jury was played a police interview with Mr. Foster's girlfriend, which took place days after his death. She explained that she had just gone to bed when there was a knock at the door, and seconds later Mr. Foster screamed to call an ambulance. She said he was screaming and he grabbed his face. His eyes were all red and swollen. He said, "It's ammonia. I can't breathe. I can't breathe." She dialed 999 and the operator instructed her to carry out CPR, but she told police, "I knew he was dead. I could tell from his face." One of the group's attack victims, a previous attack that occurred, gave evidence early in the trial and speaking anonymously via a video link. She told the court in mid-May that she was at home with a boyfriend in South Tyneside on the 16th of August 2023. He was actually recovering from surgery for a broken leg and was in plaster when 2 men appeared at the sitting room door, one of them carrying a hammer which he swung at her boyfriend. She told jurors she jumped up and grabbed the hammer, adding, "We were struggling. I was trying to get the hammer off him." She said, "We were struggling, and the next thing he squirted something in my face and it hit my lungs. I didn't know what it was, but it hit my eyes." She told the court that she felt like her lungs had been closed off. She said, "It felt like they met each other in my chest. It was the most bizarre feeling I've ever had in my life. I just cannot explain what it was." She also said she could be heard to break down. As she explained, she was instantly blinded in one eye and she passed out. The court heard she underwent 3 operations to save her eye, but they failed and her left eye had to be removed a few months later, which was replaced with a synthetic eye. She told the court her boyfriend smokes, but she does not take drugs or drink, and she added that when she heard the intruders rooting around the kitchen, they stole some of her boyfriend's personal use weed. Asked how long they were in the house, she said it felt like forever. It felt like they were there for ages. I don't know if it was 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Speaking after the trial, Andrew Foster's mother said life would simply never be the same following the loss of her only son. She said, "We as a family will never get over Andrew's death. To those who didn't know Andrew, he was a practical joker, always laughing and had a heart of gold. I spoke with him every day, usually on video calls. When he would pull funny faces just to make me laugh, he cared for his family and friends so much." Andrew was our only son, as well as a loving and supportive partner, grandson, nephew and cousin. He was particularly close to his granddad, who was very special to him. Andrew was the life and soul of the party, and he loved to make people laugh. Everyone around him was always guaranteed to have a big smile on their face. He was a big softy and loved life so much. He was such a happy, young, loving lad who lit up the room with his energy, always had everyone laughing. Life would simply never be the same without him here. It breaks my heart that I will never get to hear him say, "I love you, Mum," again. I am hugely grateful for the support and kind wishes since Andrew passed away. It is heartening to know that he has touched so many lives and his memory will live on. I'd also like to thank the investigation team for Northumbria Police, who have done a fantastic job to get justice for Andrew. Speaking following the convictions, Detective Inspector Tam Fowler of Northumbria Police said, "Our thoughts are firmly with Andrew's loved ones following his tragic death, as well as the victims of everyone who was involved in this reckless spate of attacks by this dangerous gang. This was a shocking crime spree which saw the offenders act together, intimidating and causing serious harm to their intended targets. Not only did their cowardly actions lead to a young man losing his life, they also led to life-changing injuries to another woman. The defendants have also continued to deny the charges to put them without showing a hint of remorse, and that meant Andrew's family and the survivors of the other attacks had to endure a lengthy court process and subsequent trial. Of course, no result will ever take the pain away that their actions have caused, but I hope these guilty verdicts today give some comfort to know that those behind the attacks have been brought to justice. He added that the case highlighted the real harm that using corrosive substances can cause when used as a weapon. So Wynne, who's 39, you've got Fawcett, who's 33, you've got Wandless, who's 33, and Hawthorn, who's 22, were found guilty of murder. And the defendants were also found guilty of robbery relating to the stealing of weed after Mr. Foster had allegedly been attacked. Wynne was found guilty of ABH on Mr. Foster 11 months before he died in a dispute over drugs, and Wynne, Fawcett and Wandless were found guilty of causing GBH with intent to the woman who lost her eye. A man has been jailed for firearms offences after accidentally shooting himself. At around 11:55 in the morning on Monday the 19th of February, emergency services were called to a house over in Merseyside where there were reports of a man who had been injured. The man was taken to hospital for treatment to a facial injury, and it was consistent with the gunshot wound, which required surgery. It transpired that McCall had accidentally fired the weapon, a self-loading pistol, into his own face. Detective Inspector John Mullen of the Firearms Investigation Team said, "This highly unusual case shows the extreme danger posed by firearms, not only those who are targeted in our communities, but those who handle them without the necessary expertise or, in this case, sobriety." Not only did McCall sustain serious injury, he will be also starting a significant prison sentence for being in possession of a firearm and ammunition. He said, "I hope this serves as a sobering reminder for anyone who would store, carry, or mind a firearm and ammunition. Not only do you risk a prison sentence, you are holding a lethal weapon in your possession, one which can only bring misery to anyone who comes into contact with it." And we are committed to taking the firearms off our streets, and rest assured, if you tell us about any suspected possession of offences, we will take action. We proactively investigate serious organised crime, including the use of guns and the supply and distribution of drugs on Merseyside, and we will always take immediate action when incidents with guns are involved. Absolute madness, guys. So there's a number of stories coming out from the streets of the UK. Once again, if you already haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. Please give this video a little like, as it will help with the algorithms and promote it for others to watch as well. Once again, big respect going out to each and every one of you. It's your boy GC. Keep it locked, keep it real.